The size of the streaming industry is projected to grow from $554 billion in 2023 to almost $2 trillion by 2030. This makes streaming a huge force in entertainment, so it is important to understand what's fueling the rise in streaming services. Over the course of time, more and more original content has been published by streaming services. So, our research question is, does the proportion of original shows and movies on Netflix have a positive correlation with Netflix's financial performance? We hypothesize that Netflix's original content has a positive correlation with Netflix's financial performance over time because Netflix seems to be making a lot of originals, and many of them, like Stranger Things, are very popular.
In our project, we looked at 4 different datasets: Netflix titles, Netflix originals, Netflix revenue, and Netflix stocks. Netflix titles contain information on multiple content found on Netflix, such as the type of content, title, date added, duration, and more. Netflix originals dataset contain information on a number of original content on Netflix containing variables such as title, genre, length, and premiere date. The Netflix revenue dataset contain information on the global revenue and membership counts on specific dates. And the Netflix stocks dataset contain information on the Netflix stocks, such as close, high, open, low, and volume on specific dates. All these datasets were clean and the missing data was handled accordingly. For our Netflix titles dataset, we were able to create a column that identifies whether or not an entry was an original using the Netflix originals dataset. In our exploratory data analysis, we examined relevant variables in each of our datasets. For the datasets of total Netflix titles, we analyzed the distributions of top genres, movies to TV shows, originals to non-originals, release years, and content ratings to find potential interesting factors that might affect the financial growth of Netflix. On top of that, the release years of Netflix content shows an exponential increase that dipped significantly in 2020, possibly due to COVID. Furthermore, when looking at the content ratings, we found that TVMA and TV14 contain the most content. For Netflix original content, we looked at number of original content, number of movies to shows, distribution of length of movies and shows, and average content length. We find that the distribution of top genres are pretty similar for both datasets. Also, the length of shows and movies seem to peak at certain times. For the dataset of Netflix revenue, we looked at the global revenue, streaming membership counts, and average revenue per user. The global revenue and streaming membership both show steady increases over the years, but when analyzing the average revenue per user over time, 2 major dips in value can be seen around 2023 and 2020, more so around 2020. For the dataset on Netflix stocks, we examined 2 variables, stock open price and stock volume. We looked at each of these variables given their respective dates first, after we grouped the dates by year and took the mean of the stock open price and volume. The graphs for the opening price slowly increased over time while volume was more turbulent with peaks in 2011 and 2004. After these preliminary data exploration, we generated 3 datasets that could potentially answer our research question: the ratio between the number of total Netflix content and Netflix original content over time from 2012 to 2019. The ratio of movies to shows for the total Netflix content by month from 2012 to 2021, and the average length of Netflix original content by month from 2012 to 2020.
For more in-depth analysis, we used both a linear regression model and polynomial regression model. Initially, we found the ratio of originals to all content per month, the ratio of movies to TV shows for all content per month, and the average length of all shows per month. And then, we used these 3 factors as predictors, with the stock price per month as the outcome variable. The LOS analysis revealed a significant correlation between the ratio of originals to all contents and financial performance, because the p-value is less than our alpha value, which is 0.05. The other 2 predictors demonstrated comparatively weaker correlations. We then conducted polynomial regression models with degrees set to 2, 3, and 4 and observed an increase in R-squared values with higher degrees. In the model with the degree of 4, the R-squared value reached 0.766, which indicates a strong likelihood of a positive correlation. This suggests that as the ratio of originals to all contents increases, there is a corresponding increase in financial performance. However, the R-squared value for the models with the combination of all 3 predictors is significantly higher than only the models with the ratio of originals to all content.
However, limitations also exist in our project. Firstly, the dataset of Netflix original and all Netflix titles we pull from Kaggle has dataset that are potentially missing, as their month in the dataset do not have any corresponding content, which is highly unlikely considering the scale of a company like Netflix. In addition, the 2 datasets of Netflix contents don't match up, as some content present in the original dataset are missing in the total dataset, or vice versa. The dataset chosen has missing date info where only the year is present, plus the fact that datasets themselves are for different time ranges, which results in need of extra data cleaning that makes the dataset shorter than expected, something that could be potentially detrimental to the performance of a predictive model. Lastly, our predictive analysis can be useful to people that are interested in studying how a company maximizes growth through the arrangement of their products. But it is also important to realize that due to the limitation mentioned, the model can be misleading and cause financial instability if one were to not interpret it with caution.